Hi everyone and welcome to this week's edition of Catherine and Lorimer's Guide to Life podcast. How you guys doing? You okay? Yeah. So feedback from the stand-up comedy. Thanks for everyone who got back to me. So some bits are quite funny, some bits still need a bit of work. So, that's a kind of like a goal. I think I might be ready to kind of do that maybe in about a year's time. Maybe less than that. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to work on that a little bit. But so I was thinking, what do I do with this week's podcast? What sort of topic should I pick? Because I've done so much like self-help stuff and everything going on. And then, of course, Anne Whitcomb, that was a bit of a shock, the female person following on from my podcast about, where are all the female rock stars. I was kind of thinking, do I just stop? Because obviously, you're kind of aware that, these things happen. And it was a bit of a shock. And I kind of it was a big kind of like thinking moment for me. And I thought, do you know what? Is it time to stop? And I think you have two choices, don't you? Either don't do it anymore or you rebrand and go in a completely different direction. And I kind of went to the stables this week and I was chatting to somebody. And I was like telling her, I can't even remember what I was talking about, but I was just telling her like in an animated way about something my pony had done or something like that. And I was making her laugh and I thought, I've got it back. I used to be really, really good at making people laugh. I used to be apparently really funny, someone said to me, an old friend recently. And I realised that after nearly 5 years of separating from my husband, I've actually really got my sense of humour back. And also my ability to make other people laugh, which I really enjoyed. And I thought back to my childhood, I thought, do you know what? You always wanted to do something around comedy. You always kind of wanted to like write scripts and stuff and do something like that. And I thought, well, do you know what? Maybe now is the kind of the time. I've moved him up a partner and his teenage daughter and their dog Flash. And, Pippa's started to be incontinent. My partner's been fantastic about it. Fortunately, he never really liked either sofa and the carpet anyway. So it's just been a bit of a challenge. And I just thought to myself, maybe now is the time to rebrand. So you may have seen it says week 1, okay? And also, if you have a look at my podcast blurb, I've changed it slightly. And I thought, why don't I just, week on week, just tell humorous stories about what's gone on in my life? Because I'm one of those people, okay, funny things like this always happen to me. And I just thought, and you have to see the funny side of it, okay? Other people would have got really cross. I mean, I've been running around after Pippa with a mop and constantly scrubbing everything, rewashing covers, and we have popped off to the vets today. Apparently incontinence in dogs is a thing. It's usually much older dogs, but she could have also had a UTI or something wrong with her kidneys, but she's not been drinking as much and it doesn't sound like that. So I now have an incontinent Labrador aged 4, which isn't particularly great, but there we go. I'm now running around the garden with a blue plastic tray trying to get a urine sample to drop back at the vets. And of course, she opted to go for a pee underneath the tree. And honestly, God, I nearly knocked myself out as I scrabbled to try and get a sample, and there was a big low branch that I hadn't seen. So I still haven't achieved that. I've just literally got back in, walking around the park with this blue tray shoved down my jods. I still haven't done it. So we'll see. I need to get this urine sample off her today to drop in at the vets. But anyway, that's been kind of my week. So anybody kind of watching this would just be absolutely laughing. It's like, I think my life sometimes is an episode of Mr. Bean. So I just thought, you know what? Why don't I just change it? Why don't I just talk about that this week? Oh yeah, and I've just got a reply from my partner, and because we went to the vet waiting room, because I call her Perfect Pippa, okay, and he calls her AZBO dog, right? Because she steals other people's balls. And then we've got this incontinent issue. She had an upset tummy as well last week. And then she drank loads of seawater, or stuck her head in the thing and got seawater, and then was sick. So it's like she's just... he calls her AZBO dog because he's the one that's been walking her and he has to try and get the ball that she's nicked out of her mouth. I just messaged him and I said, unfortunately there was a hairy dog in the vet waiting room. She has this thing about hairy dogs. Okay, she gets on with most dogs and she's great and she'll play, but see if there's a hairy one where she can't see its face, she just hates them. And so I walked in the vets and there's this hairy dog and she's going absolutely berserk, completely crazy at this hairy dog. So obviously I've just relayed this to my partner John. I said AZBO's in the post from the vets. We got seen really quickly though. Yeah, tell you that now. No waiting around for us. Literally didn't even have time to sit down. It was like, let's get her in, shall we? So I suppose there is a bonus to having Pippa the AZBO dog. So I thought, do you know what? Why don't I just change my podcast and why don't I just say tell entertaining stories about things that happen in my life? Because I'm a really busy person. Lots of entertaining things do happen in my life every week. So you'll notice I'm calling it week 1. Okay, and it'll be going through everything. Well, not everything, because some things are really private, but most things that I'm doing and I'm involved in. And so I kind of work from home. I don't know if you guys know this. I think I've already mentioned it. I've got 2 jobs. I work in a hospital and I also work from home. And I had to complete a risk assessment this week, okay, because we've got a new manager and it's always a little bit kind of like, where, what this new manager, what's this going to be like? And part of it was saying, are you taking enough breaks from the screen and getting up and getting a lot of exercise? And I'm up there and I've been, because obviously I've been cleaning up after Pippa. So every time she gets up off the sofa, I've been leaping into action, cleaning the sofa down, cleaning the carpet down with a mop, rushing around on the floor. So I nearly put that, but anyway, he put, yes, I have been getting lots of regular breaks trying to mop up Pippa P. Anyway, the good news is that if it is just that, then she can go on some tablets, which will hopefully stop it. So that'd be really good. But obviously that's why we had to get along to the vets. And as you might have seen as well on social media this week, I'm in big trouble with a teenager. Oh dear. I used her special plate to cover my salad instead of cling film. Right. And my partner also got the full Spanish Inquisition from her as to why 3 packs of lettuce were open at the same time. Right. So she gave a disappointed when he confessed it was him. I think she was secretly hoping that it was me so she could get revenge on me for outing him on social media that it was more environmentally friendly to use a plate rather than cling film. Right? But you know what? Hey, if these are the only things we have to worry about, then it's not too bad. Right, heat. It's been a bit hot. It's a bit cooler today. If your lives could have had to adjust for the heat. Yes, and my life has completely changed with the heat. I'm now getting up about 6 o'clock in the morning to go and ride the pony with my friend Ruth and browsing around the fields and everything. And John's very kindly getting up and walking the dogs. And also, it's like sleeping, okay? Has anyone else been sleeping naked? I have. I said to my partner, do you mind if I sleep naked? It's too hot to wear anything. A big smile came over his face. And it's like, no objection at all. But I can almost see the teenager's eyes rolling when she hears this. Because that's a big no-no from her. I remember saying, right, no sleeping naked, guys. You've got to wear pyjamas at all times. Such a prude. Anyway, okay, so I have a couple of jobs, and the other one is obviously working in a hospital reception area, and usually we have loads of DNAs. They cost quite a lot of money. It's like £160 a pop if someone DNAs an appointment. So that did not attend, obviously. But over this week, people must have really, really had enough of the heat, because some days we actually haven't had any DNAs, which is unheard of for my department bit anyway. I think people, keen to come and sit in the air conditioning. So, this week when they get a text reminding them, they usually sort of go, oh, I've got a hospital appointment. This week it's been like, text come through, yes, I've got a hospital appointment. They have air conditioning. I can go and sit on it. And they've been arriving about half an hour early. It's still quite warm in the building, they mind. We don't actually have air conditioning in all the areas. Sorry to disappoint you. Right, so... And so, life's completely changed. I've been getting up at 5:45 most mornings. My partner's used to getting up at 7 o'clock. So that's a bit of a change for him. Anyway, he's coped with it really, really well. He's a bit knackered. He does look a bit tired. but we can have a lie-in at the weekend till about 6:30. That's okay. I haven't told him that yet. Right, so you'll see my social. I'm going to do some social media, right? Does anybody have anything, recipes that I can do with these 2 courgettes that I've been given? I went to Mum's house because I'd had a couple of parcels delivered there. That was it. And she's like, "Can you make use of these? Pete next door gave us some, and he's got 2 big courgettes and a big cucumber." I was like, right, okay, let's see what we can do with those, shall we? And so weight-wise, how's that going? Right, so I was excited. I actually rushed into my parents' house last night, and just to use their scales because the ones here aren't working. I cleaned them, and they just come up with the error sort of noise or noise display on the screen. And as I say, so I rushed to my parents' house just before work, so I ran in to quickly. She's like, "Oh, I wasn't expecting you here today." I was like, "Yeah, I'm just using the scales, mother." So upstairs, use the scales, and I was very excited because I'm the lightest I've been for probably about a year. Anyway, I went in with just my car keys, and I came out with a 38-piece stubby tool set, right, and a 10-in-1 multi-tool with pouch. They'd won it at the raffle. "Do you want these?" I was like, "Yeah, right, yeah, okay then." So they're in the boot of my car, just in case, And just, I don't know, I'll use them at some point. It'll be fine. But I've nearly lost nearly a stone now in weight, and it's not been an easy ride. I've tried lots of different things to try and lose weight, and even running a marathon and training and running. And I think, so let me have a quick look at the amount of steps I'm doing as well. I know some of them are pony steps, but just to give you an indication, I'm just going to quickly go onto my Connect now. So I've got this app and it connects up to my Garmin. Let's have a quick look, shall we? Step count this week. Today, okay, so it's 10 o'clock Friday morning. I've already done 10,000 steps. Okay, so 7 days. 7 days, I've done 115,000 steps, which is 87.7 kilometres, average of 17,361 steps a day. Some of them are pony steps, as I say. About 8,000 of those are pony steps, so maybe about 11 are walking steps without even walking the dog in the morning. So a fair amount of steps are being done. I'm the plus. I am getting sort of exercise, and I think it's so difficult to try and lose weight when you kind of get to over 50, isn't it? It's so frustrating, and you step on the scales. I stepped on the scales last week, and I'm like, I've put on 2 kilograms. I'm like, oh, right, okay. So this week I've literally been having yogurt and banana in the mornings. Then I've got some flatbread and I'm having like scrambled egg or cheese with it in the afternoon. Then I've been having jacket potato salad, maybe some tuna fish with it once a week. An apple as a snack, Muller chocolate mousse, and the low-fat ones are only 168 calories and it's a massive pot. It's great. And a hot chocolate with marshmallows because, hey, you've got to have something. And I've also been sneaking a couple of biscuits at work, but that's fine. And, so I have been making an effort and it has really paid off this week. I mean, today I'm actually going out for lunch though, but I'll have to be really careful about my choice because I don't want to put any more weight on. I'm going out with Luke. It's Jane's birthday. And she wants to go and see where the pony is now because I've moved him to a different yard, one right quite close to John's, which is the space came up unexpectedly. So it's like, right, great, I'm going to go there. It's fantastic. It's an amazing yard. I absolutely love it already. And he's settled in right away. So on top of all the steps I've been doing, I've also been going swimming. I've done it twice already this week, scheduled for do another one. I can only do breaststroke though. But I've recently been upgraded. I can now go. I'm no longer in the slow lane. I'm now in the medium lane, which is fantastic. I'm kind of like swimming my breaststroke, but I don't know about everybody else. But I have to time my breathing right. Okay, so if I kind of breathe when you're kind of doing the stroke, so you kind of your nose is at a higher point, and then you're breathing out when it's at a lower point, because otherwise you end up swallowing loads of water. But what I've learned now is when I breathe it in through my nostrils, if I take a deep breath through my mouth, I can then expel the water through my nose. It's taken a bit of effort, but that's a thing. I'm really good at that now. And I think, so I'm really enjoying doing that and really enjoying going for a swim. I just do 300 meters a time. So I'm not overdoing it, but it's really helping with the physio. Touch wood, I haven't really had any issues and no pain or anything like that, which is great, given the amount of exercise that I have been doing. I also got up at 6 a.m. at the weekend I did a 1.9 mile, so about a 3K run. Because I'm doing that for cancer research this weekend. And it was great because I actually managed to wear the stuff that I usually wear in Forteventura to run in. And I did shove that up on Instagram as well. And it was fantastic, to be able to, because it's been that hot, hasn't it? I'm kind of getting used to the heat, to be fair. I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm loving it. But it has been a little bit hot. I have been able to go down and sort of, hose the pony down at lunchtime, which is great. It's fantastic. But yes, I've also been doing Pilates every week as well, which is fantastic. Try and tone things up a bit. And I've actually known the instructor for years now. I go on, you might have seen on my social media, I go on this Pilates retreat. And I help her with her event social media. And I'd forgotten, she reminded me, she's like, I've just been editing the video you did. I was the only person, strangely enough, to offer to do the video in my swimming costume. When we went on holiday to Forteventura, and I'm just hoping I was wearing the underwired supportive one and not the all hang loose one. It's just going to look a bit weird. Anyway, so, and I'm that person in her class. I groan, just do the a little bit more, just three more, and she just laughs at me groaning, and I'm I kind of go. Anyway, so I walked in. We're also wearing my Forteventura top, and because we go to Playa Tas, and with my Playa Tas top on, because I was like, yeah, Playa Tas, great, yeah. Wear this, it's because it's hot enough to wear it for Pilates in the UK, which is like unheard of. I went in that with my tight shorts and my tight top. She took one look at me and said, right, we need to work on our stomach muscles. And do you know what? They're still hurting now. We did a lot of work on them. So pony care this week. What's happened? Well, it's been really hot. So the routine is going up about 6 o'clock in the morning, bringing the pony in, sort of giving him a bit of a brush, polishing his nails and everything, and getting him ready. And I'm soaking the hay now. It's great. The yard that I'm at, it's fantastic. It's set up so we've got a hay soaker, and you just literally tip it out, and then the water runs just right down the drain, and the hose is right by it. So So I'm lifting up a heavy, a kind of like a semi-heavy hay net, but it's not too heavy. Sticking it straight in the bucket, and then it goes in, and he has it wet. So that's working really, really well. And I've got space in the stable for my other kind of like on wheels hay soaker thing for the winter time. And then I'm popping down, or someone's popping him out for me about 5 o'clock in the evening, because there's support there, which is fantastic. And I'm loving it. It's great. And I'm riding all of the time, even probably more so than when I was at the one with the actual farm ride, which is fantastic. But so what else? So we've had, so there's two things. So we've got like this stable chain across the kind of the stable, which is great. It's fantastic. And Kate, it's the yard owner, and said to me, you can put a chain up. And I was like, well, that's great and everything. I said, but it will go under that. So I said, I'll just have to monitor him at all times. Anyway, he had been under once before, but I was untacking him, okay, in the stable. I literally ran my stirrups up to the girth up, went around the back of him to fling the girth over the other side, and he was away. Straight underneath. I literally just had enough time to grab the saddle as the rope thing took it off, and he wandered off down the stable block to check out, see who was in. Unfortunately, he had his bridle on at the time, so I'm now having to kind of shut the door all the time. He's a little tinker. If there's food in there, though, it's no problem. He won't escape. It's fine, but it's just he's got so much personality. And but he's also, he's changed. He used to have shoes on his front feet because it kind of like protects them. It helps them if they're kind of doing a lot of road work. I've stopped doing that. I've taken his front shoes off, and I've transitioned to barefoot. And you should do this really in the winter when the ground's a bit softer. And he has transitioned to barefoot fantastically well in rock or ground. There's no issue whatsoever. So this pony is so tough. It's unbelievable. But there is this like a stony track that we go on when we go and do road hacks at the weekend. There's a big group of us that go, which is fantastic for me because I am losing my hearing in my ear. And I was hacking out on my own previously on the roads before, and it was scary because everyone's going a lot faster, and I couldn't hear the cars coming. Actually, it's really good fun because you can chat. There's like maybe about sort of between 4 and 6 of us. So a really big group that go out hacking. We can all be seen really, really well. Because we're such a big crowd, people really do slow down because there's so many horses. And I don't have to worry about not hearing the cars. So it's working out really well. But there is a stony section, and he was really struggling on that. So I've had to order some boots, to get them. But I had a bit of a nightmare. I was told, I ordered them from one place, and they came back and said, oh, really sorry, we can't get hold of them. So I was like, right, okay, I'll order them from somewhere else. So I cancelled that order, reordered them. And I got an email saying there's a bit of slight delay in your order. They're going to be in stock at the beginning of October. I'm like, it's July, July, August, September. That's 4 months. Yeah, the problem with the warehouse, I'm thinking, I've worked in production. I'm thinking, yeah, good excuse. I reckon they probably haven't been able to get any stock shipped through because of old Trump. So I think this is possibly going to be a thing that things are in a bit of a shortage. So anyway, I've ordered a second-hand pair from eBay. And they were on the box, and she hadn't really photographed them properly. I thought, they're new, and I had to sort of scrabble around on the box, zooming in to say, right, okay, yeah, that's definitely the right size I need. So I got them from eBay, tried them on, and they fit perfectly, which is great. But he starts waving his foot around going, what the heck are these things on my feet? He said, it's bad enough that you dress me in a jousting outfit each night, which he does his best to remove. I usually get there in the mornings, and his face mask, he's got like 2 eye things like with netting on. It's to stop the mosquitoes biting him and the midges biting him. And I usually get one of the facial things is like on the front of his head, and the other one's on the side of his cheek, so he can't actually see out of his face mask. And say yesterday morning his rug was half off as well. This morning the face mask had gone completely. So I've now got to walk around the field and try and find that. Hopefully it's there somewhere. He still manages to eat though. Some horses will be like stressed out by this, and they'd be like stood in the middle of the field in a panic going, the rug's off, I can't move. He's dangling on my feet. It might be horse eating. I dare not move. Not Merlin. He's more of a, great, I've nearly got it off. Now, if I keep walking around, I might be able to tread on it with my foot and rip it off completely. It's just hilarious. And so I've recently taken up golf as well. I think I've mentioned that before, which I really, really enjoy. And there's always something really great about striking this small round ball and sending it 100 yards up the course. Well, I can do it a bit further than that now. It is a frustrating game, though. One day I played really, really well. I got a fantastic score. I got 54, which is the best score I've got. So, no, did I get 59? 49. Did I get 49? I might have got 49. No, that's not right. I got 59. Let me just check. Let's see what I actually got, shall we? It was a really good score anyway. I've got a little app called Golf Shake, okay? And you can kind of record the scores at the... Yeah, no, I got 49. I did it, which is a fantastic score, because usually I get... So the worst score I had was 67, and then it's been like 60, 54, 54, 57. I got 49, which is a fantastic score for a beginner, because I've only played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 7 times, so to get 49 7 times playing golf is brilliant. And then I got the next time I played appallingly well. Appallingly well. How can you play appallingly well? I played appallingly. Yeah, forget the well. But actually, when I looked at it, I got the 60, which actually isn't too bad. It's a different course than the one I got the 49 on. It's not that bad, really. I mean, it's just it wasn't great, and some of the decisions I made weren't great. But I think maybe it was just a bit hot. But with any game, you kind of have to really. I missed some really easy shots, and say just some putting, and it didn't really go to plan. But that's like any sport, isn't it? You have to play through it. There was one absolutely fantastic shot that I did. It was amazing. John was obviously rummaging around in the undergrowth looking for his ball at that particular moment and missed it. And it was great. It went right up in the air, and I'm like, oh, that's a great shot. And then, of course, it struck a tree and ended up on another green of another hole. So I didn't get that. Fortunately, no one was on that at the time. That happened twice to me this time. Usually, I'm really, really good. I can keep them to the greens, and it's all fine. Not this time, no. It was a bit of a nightmare. So the thing is, though, you have to kind of take the positive element of each game, and they say is that one ball, that one good shot after about 50 that actually went right on that particular game of golf. I'm really enjoying it. It's a great thing to do. So that is really fantastic. Okay. Also, this week at the yard we've had Badgergate, right? Yeah, badgers, right? I actually, I feel like messaging Chris Packham to ask him for a final contribution to the peanuts that the yard owners having to buy. So what's been happening is, and it's actually quite sad because the yard was like, I don't know what to do about these badgers. And I was like, well, why don't you speak to a rescue centre? Because they must deal with this sort of thing all the time, and they might be able to give you some advice. So she did. She phoned up somebody who it also has horses and had the same issue. And and she said at the moment, she said they're actually dying of starvation, and also dehydration. So make sure you leave lots of water out, which we've usually got water around anyway, in buckets and stuff. Because she said, because the ground's so hard, they can't really forage for anything, because usually they kind of dig, wouldn't they, and get earthworms and stuff, and they can't get anything. So they are really hungry. And she tracked them down on the CCTV, because I was like, right, why don't you show everybody what's happening? Because people weren't picking their stuff up, or they're not putting their feed away, like she said. Just actually put it on the CCTV so everyone can see what they're actually doing. Because we're kind of clearing up the mess, and she's clearing up the mess first thing in the morning, and it's stressing her out, which is understandable because they're in everybody's stuff. Just looking for food because they are hungry. And there's two cubs. Apparently they are part of their last year's cubs. They've clearly lost their mum, because apparently badgers are really quite family orientated. I've learned quite a bit about badgers this week. Anyway, the woman at the rescue place said, look, she said, you'll just have to adopt them. There's no choice really. As soon as it starts raining again, they'll probably be off out foraging. But she said, you're just going to have to adopt them and deal with the situation. So she said, leave out like carrots and apples, or they love peanuts or monkey nuts. So there was some like that you feed the birds, those type of things. So there's now a small feed bowl, okay, in the yard full of nuts, which the birds will probably eat as well, full of nuts for the badgers, and it's worked. The night, because apparently they're really intelligent animals. She said you'll be able to train them quite easily, and you'll be able to get them to feed in a different location. You just leave a trail and leave the bowl, so they'll be well away from wherever it is they're causing a problem. But we're putting it into the entrance to the barn. So, because when we tried shutting up the barn, but they're like ninja badgers, we've named them, because they were literally climbing up like shelving units and stuff and popping over the top of and just getting in that way. So we couldn't even stop them, and then ramming the door open. I have to admire the intelligence of these animals. They are really smart animals. I've got a lot more respect for badgers now than I did have. But they like the peanuts. They've trothed the peanuts. They haven't eaten all of them, which is good. So they're obviously not that hungry, but they obviously like hunting, and this is their hunting ground. So. And they hadn't touched anybody's stuff last night, so it's working. So sometimes if you do have a problem like that, just have a think about it, because I think, I don't know what to do about it. Well, there'll be somebody else out there with an answer for it. So just sort of think about who might be able to help you with the situation. And all it's taken is one phone call. This has been going on for 9 months, okay? All it's taken is one sort of, phone call, chatting it all through, saying what's happening, and the woman going, yeah, I had exactly the same problem, but do you know, I've done this, and they don't touch my horse feed now because I'm feeding them these, and just adopt them. So that's it, job done. Hopefully that should sort itself out. We won't have any more issues with badgers. Yeah. So that's it. That's the badgers. Right. So I hope you enjoyed this new style podcast. That's going to be it going forwards. It's just going to be about my kind of life and I'll be dealing with ups and downs of things going wrong, because things, and things going right, and just how I cope with it all, and entertaining stories about things that have happened this week that people might find a little bit interesting. Okay. Anyway, have an amazing week, everybody, and I'll catch you next time.